most natural way of beginning a sentence is with its subject, this pattern becomes monotonous with overuse. In this video, I will be sharing with you ways in which you can vary your sentence beginnings for your speaking and writing to have variation and vibrance. So, let's get started. So, I said the natural way is to have your subject first. For instance, the Greek city-states of Elis and Pisa were at war in the spring of 776 BC. In this sentence, the Greek city-states of Elis and Pisa is our subject. Notice it comes first. So this is the usual thing. But if you keep on doing this in your paragraph and in your speaking, there's no variation and it's so monotonous. So to break that monotony, we can use other ways. And one way to do that is using participial phrase. What's a participial phrase? A participial phrase begins with a participle accompanied by other words. So, what's a participle? A participle is a verb form that is used as an adjective, although it has a form of a verb, but it is not used as a verb, but an adjective instead. So, as a verb form, it has two forms, the present participle and the past participle. So, for the present participle, it is a word that is usually ending in ing. For example, wishing, singing. Okay? For the past participle, we have examples like torn, given. Okay? So, going back, a participial phrase is a group of words beginning with a participle and functions as an adjective. So, in this example, wishing to honor the gods, they held their games jointly in the valley of Olympia, where Zeus and his wife Hera were believed to live in temples. In this example, our sentence is introduced by a participial phrase, wishing to honor the gods, which is a present participial phrase. So instead of beginning with our subject, we have a participial phrase introducing our sentence. Another example, torn between two lovers, Kaina left for Australia. We have a participial phrase beginning our sentence here with torn between two lovers. In this case, it is an example of a past participial phrase because it begins with a past participle, torn. Okay, so that's one way to vary your sentence beginning. You can make use of participial phrase. Another way to vary your sentence beginning is to make use of infinitive phrase. What is an infinitive phrase? So an infinitive phrase is a group of words beginning with an infinitive. Now, what is an infinitive? An infinitive is a verb form like the participle. An infinitive is a verb form, but what's unique about it is it begins with the word to and it is followed by a simple form of the verb. For example, to celebrate, to dance, to write. So, when you have an infinitive phrase, it is a group of words beginning with an infinitive and other accompanying words. Okay? So, here for example, to celebrate the peace, each city decided to hold athletic games. To celebrate the peace is our infinitive phrase coming first. In other words, it is preceding our subject. So that's another way of beginning our sentence. So that's the second way to vary our sentence beginning. Okay, so moving on, let's go to another way. And that third way to begin our sentence is using a gerund phrase. What's a gerund phrase? Or what's a gerund? A gerund is a verb form ending in ing, which is used as a noun. So do not confuse it with the participial phrase. A gerund phrase is an ing ending, so it looks like the present participle, but remember that a gerund functions as a noun. It does not function as an adjective. The present participle functions as an adjective. Here, the gerund functions as a noun. Okay, so a gerund phrase is a group of words beginning with a gerund and takes the function of a noun. Another way to give variation to your sentence beginning is using prepositional phrase. Now, what's a prepositional phrase? A prepositional phrase is a group of words beginning with a preposition. A quick review. What's a preposition? A preposition is a word which talks about direction or position. So examples like on, in, underneath, under, inside, beneath, toward. These are examples of preposition. So going back, a prepositional phrase is a group of words beginning with a preposition. So let's take a look at an example. In this first Olympic match, the only sport was foot racing. In this example, in this first Olympic match is our prepositional phrase. Notice that it introduces your sentence. It comes first. And in this case, instead of our subject coming first, it's our prepositional phrase that is introducing our sentence. So it's a variation. So again, a prepositional phrase can give variation to our sentence beginning. Not necessarily our subject coming first, but a prepositional phrase can come first. Okay, moving on. Another way to begin our sentence is by using adverb. What's an adverb? An adverb is a word which describes a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Most commonly, adverbs are ending in ly. So, for example, you have the word beautifully, sweetly, finally. So here, I have an example. Finally, they made peace in the summer. So instead of our subject, they coming first or beginning our sentence, we have a sentence beginning finally, which is an example of an adverb. So an adverb can begin your sentence so that you have variation to your sentence beginning. Alright, so adverb. Another way to begin your sentence is by using adverb clause. What is an adverb clause? An adverb clause is another kind of dependent clause, which is having a subject and verb combination, but it does not have a complete thought. It needs the main clause to complete its meaning. So, for instance, because winning was all that mattered to the Greeks, no speed or distance records were kept. In this example, because winning was all that mattered to the Greeks is our adverb clause. It's an adverb clause beginning with a subordinating conjunction because. So, notice that because winning was all that mattered to the Greeks is incomplete by itself. It needs no speed or distance records were kept to complete its meaning. In other words, it needs the main clause to complete its meaning. So, an adverb clause can be used to begin your sentence. Okay, so that's another way of beginning your sentence. Finally, you can make use of inverted order for your sentence beginning. So how does that work? When can you say that a sentence has an inverted order? A sentence has an inverted order if the verb comes first, because usually it's the subject that comes first. It's followed by the verb. That's the order. That's the pattern, right? But when you have an inverted order, it's the other way around. Your verb comes first and your subject follows. In this example, out of this first match grew our tradition of Olympic Games. Our verb here is grew, and our subject is our tradition. Notice that your verb comes first. So this is an example of an inverted order. Notice that your sentence begins with out of this first match. So that's a beginning which can be determined as a prepositional phrase because it's introduced by a preposition out. What differs it from the prepositional phrase is in an inverted order, the verb comes first and the subject follows. In a sentence with a prepositional phrase introducing your sentence, the order is subject followed by the verb. But when you have the inverted order, it's the verb coming first followed by the subject. Okay? So hope you picked up something useful in the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. So, see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Yes, don't forget to hit that tiny bell so you will be notified of my next video. See you in my next video, guys. Bye!